If you have forgotten your Apple ID and password both, then let us see what to do. For that one, you have to open a website, appleid.apple.com. After that, click on this button, sign in. Now since you don't know your Apple IDs, you will go to this link, forgot Apple ID or password. Now here you have to click on this option, look it up if you forget your Apple ID. Click here. Now you have to enter your first name, last name. Now when you have to create an Apple ID, you have to use an email ID, whether it might be Gmail, Yahoo or some other email ID. Now what you have to do is you have to go on entering the email ID which you think is your Apple ID. For example, let me just enter a random email ID here and let me fill this captcha and then continue. In this case you can see no Apple ID found. So I will click on this button, try again, and then again I will enter the first name, last name, and this time I will enter my correct Apple ID and then captcha and then continue. You can see Apple ID found. So by this way I am able to know which is my Apple ID. So once I have known the Apple ID, I will click on this button, go to your account, sign in, and then I will again click on this link, forgot Apple ID or password, because I don't know the password of my Apple ID. And then what I will do, I will enter my Apple ID here and then captcha here and then continue. Now here I have to enter one of the phone numbers that I have used for my Apple ID and then continue. These phone numbers you will be putting while you are registering for Apple ID. Now as soon as I put it, you can see a password reset request was sent from an iPhone and the location is shown below. So what I will do is, now this kind of notification will be sent to all of the Apple devices where I have used the same Apple ID. Right now I have an iPhone and I have this iMac. So in both of the devices a notification has been sent for resetting my password. So I will use this iMac as an example. So I will click on this button, so I will select this option, reset password. Now what I have to do is I have to enter the password that I used to log into my iMac. And if you are in iPhone, you have to use the passcode that you use to open your iPhone. And then allow. So now you can see I have got this option to enter new password and confirm new password. So I will have to enter this both and then select continue. In that way you will be able to reset the password of your Apple ID. Remember, you won't be able to recover the old password of your Apple ID. You have to reset and enter a new password for your Apple ID.